It's Friday morning, and that means it's time for the first federal program on WROI Cheyenne FM and streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
Yes, indeed, it is Friday morning. It's a beautiful Friday morning. The sun's coming up, 23 degrees, and, well, the First Federal program is being hosted by Tanner.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, sir.
It is a beautiful morning. Like I said, sun's coming up. A little chilly out there.
A little bit, but can't complain too much.
A little ice on the windshield this morning, but not as bad as some other weeks we've had on Friday mornings. So.
Yeah, we'll get into this later on in the program. But sectional basketball's right around the corner. So
it's that time of year. It's that time of year. Some mix of snow is probably coming in sometime soon. So.
Yes.
But every day, getting closer to more sunlight every day.
Yeah.
So. Well, I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
We got President's Day coming up on Monday.
Yes.
First Federal Savings Bank will be open with our normal hours of business. Monday, I wanted to make sure I got that word out to everybody to begin the program. Got some trivia right off the bat for you this morning, Paul.
All right, let's do it.
So this weekend, the Daytona 500 is running, NASCAR's biggest race, which is interesting. They always do their biggest race at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Not like IndyCar does it towards the middle-ish of the season in May. Well, Richard Petty, the king, arguably the best NASCAR driver of all time, he has the most Daytona 500 wins with 7. I want to know who has the second most Daytona 500 wins. And I'll give you 4 guesses here, 4 choices.
Okay.
Is it Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Is it Jeff Gordon? Is it Cale Yarborough? Or Bobby Allison?
Okay, I'm watching for things to come flying from behind me if I get this wrong.
All right. Your dad NASCAR guy, is it?
Used to be.
Yeah.
More of an IndyCar guy now.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I think it's, particularly the last decade when you had big names, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, step away from the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Heard it quite a bit. So.
Yeah.
But,
way back when.
Well, the new point system and everything. Kind of confusing if you don't follow it closely.
Just a little bit.
We got a lot of sports today in the sports report, especially locally. A lot of action going on, or a lot of action that got completed this past week.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Rochester bowler Enrique Navarro, the first state champion of program history. Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Really cool story. There's a really good write-up about him this week. Only a junior.
Only a junior.
So we'll see if he can do it again next year.
Yeah.
So
the
Navarro family's kind of had a history of bowling success in the Rochester program.
Oh, yeah. I think they've had somebody advance every year.
It seems like it's been almost every year the past decade or so. So
yeah.
Congratulations to Enrique. That's awesome to see. Also, speaking of Rochester, they're sending 4 wrestlers to the state today.
They are. They are.
And Tippecanoe Valley sending 1 and Winmack sending 1. So a lot of local wrestlers will be in action today in Gamebridge Fieldhouse. I believe the first round's at 3. I'm going off the top of my head, not my notes.
I don't know.
It is this afternoon, though. And then hopefully we'll have some wrestlers advance and compete tomorrow in Gamebridge. So exciting stuff. And last year's state champion Marshall Fishback is on the program.
I saw
that on
That's
Facebook.
Pretty cool.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
So good luck to all those guys in action. And you got swimming sectionals going on tomorrow for the boys, so good luck to them. And then tonight and tomorrow we have some basketball action.
Yes,
tonight on the boys' side, Rochester's going to host Peru. That's senior night, TRC action. So
7:25 pregame.
7:25 pregame. And Tippecanoe Valley's at Triton tonight. Caston hosts LaVille. Argus hosts North Jetson. And Winmack hosts Pioneer.
Yeah.
So, everybody in action.
Take your pick and go watch some basketball.
Yes. And girls, Tippecanoe Valley won regionals.
Yes, they did.
I forgot that this was the year they changed the format. Kind of threw me off when they won the first game. I'm trying to see when they played their second game. It said regional champs. Wait a second.
Yep.
So I forgot now it's 2 games to win the semi-state, 1 to win the regional.
Yes.
So they will be playing Fairfield tomorrow. That's in LaPorte. And if they get by Fairfield, they will play the winner of Twin Lakes and Hamilton Heights.
All right.
So good luck to the Lady Vikings. They've had a really good season. Hopefully they can keep it going. Joe, did you have any local sports notes?
Boys sectional draw Sunday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. And I wanted to also wish good wishes to the area wrestlers. They all wrestled today, one match, and those that win will wrestle 3 matches tomorrow for Fulton. So pretty cool. And I heard the game bridge is sold out.
Sold out. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So if you don't have tickets, you're not going.
Well, yeah, good luck to everybody competing this weekend. That was Joe McCarter, president of RTC Fiber Communications, by the way, who's our guest this morning. I dropped the ball there. I dropped the ball there in the intro.
That's all right.
Well, we do have some other local sports note, more on the national scene to cover here. College basketball has not been a good week for any Indiana school that you like, whether it's Purdue, Indiana, Notre Dame, Butler. It's not been a good week. They'll have a chance to get back on the right track this weekend, starting with Notre Dame. They're at Virginia tomorrow. Virginia's 20-4, so that's not going to be an easy task for the Irish. That game's at noon on ESPN2. Interesting that Mike Bray, their coach, decided he still wants to coach, but just not at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Originally, he was stepping away from it all,
Right,
but now
right.
he's kind of changed his mind, and if somebody will take him, they'll look to go somewhere else. But that'll be something to keep tabs on in the next coming weeks. Butler, they got a good chance to win tomorrow. They're hosting Georgetown, who's 6-21. That's why you don't always hire legends, Paul. They hire probably the best basketball player ever, Patrick Ewing, and it's not going well at all, and they're probably going to have to fire him. That game's on Sunday at 3 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. Indiana looks to bounce back tomorrow against Illinois. Illinois is looking to bounce back as well. That game's tomorrow down in Bloomington at noon on ESPN. And Purdue's looking to bounce back after an ugly performance against Maryland last night. They host Ohio State, who is just fell off a cliff lately. I probably shouldn't say that. I probably just spoke enough said into existence. But that game's at Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS. Ohio State's 11-15.
Okay.
Indianapolis Colts finally have a new head coach.
Yeah?
I figured the longer it went on, they were waiting for somebody that was going to be in the Super Bowl, whether it be on the Kansas City side or Philadelphia side. And they have hired former Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen. So I know, Joe, you're a big Colts fan. You happy about that hire?
I had no idea.
No, yeah.
They need more than just a head coach.
They do. They do. It's a starting block, I guess. And the Eagles, you know you're doing something right when the week after the Super Bowl you lose your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator, because your defensive coordinator, Gannon, is now the new head coach of Arizona for the Cardinals. So that's kind of the way the NFL works. When you have success, people are going to come and get your assistants. So.
Yes.
But the NFL season did come to an end. It seems like a long time ago, but it wasn't even a week ago. Super Bowl 57 between the Eagles and the Chiefs. And from a Broncos fan's perspective, unfortunately, the Chiefs won yet another Super Bowl. 2 in their last 4 years. And
Yeah.
as long as they have number 15 behind center, they're always going to have a pretty good chance to win. So he's pretty special. It was a great game. Unfortunately, officiating, whether you like the holding call or not, that kind of took away from some extra drama that could have happened at the end of the game. But still a good game all in all. Got some tidbits here this morning, Paul. Not too many. I'm trying to keep it positive again.
No.
On this day in 1968, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts opened up.
Hey.
Joe, have you ever been there?
No.
No, I have not either.
Been to Canton.
Been to Canton. I've been to Cooperstown. That's the only Hall of Fame I've been to.
I haven't been in.
I've been to any. Been to rock and roll?
No, not yet.
Rock and roll?
Not yet. It's on my agenda.
All right. On this day in 2014, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon premiered on NBC. So,
Doing pretty well
9
for
years. Yeah, doing pretty well. He's a pretty entertaining guy.
Yeah.
And today is National No One Eats Alone Day. I like that one. National Cabbage Day. I'm not a cabbage fan, so I don't like that one. National Random Acts of Kindness Day. World Human Spirit Day. And My Way Day.
All right. All right.
Yeah. Kind of a different assortment of days there.
Yeah.
We've got a few local upcoming events coming up. We've promoted this last few weeks, but the event is coming up tomorrow now, so I'll promote it one more time. That's Scioto Zai. They're presenting the Light Up the Night Daddy-Daughter Glow Dance tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Fulton Community Center. Tickets are $15 per guest, and that includes professional photos from Bailey Warren Photography, a raffle ticket, a craft, which I know Evan was really pumping up the craft last week.
Yeah.
Cakewalk, refreshments, and dancing. And this is good for ages 3 through 6th grade.
It's a fun time.
So if you haven't got your tickets yet, you can get it right at the door.
Yeah.
Or from a Scioto Design, I should add that too. And the Civics Player of Logansport will be presenting Barefoot in the Park coming up on March 3rd and 4th at 7:30 and on March 5th at 2:30. These plays are going to be at the State Theater down in Logansport. Michael Cavins, husband of Heather Cavins of a Rochester branch, is directing this romantic comedy by Neil Simon. All tickets are $10 and can be purchased at the door or online at civicsplayeroflogansport.weebly.com.
Okay.
They always do a good job of putting shows on throughout the year down there. Heather's really, of the Rochester branch, she's really involved in that. And this time it's her husband involved in this one. She's waiting for the next ones. We're going to give some flowers to everybody involved with the Time Theater's event earlier this week. It was held on Valentine's Day, which was Tuesday. It's their 99th anniversary and grand reopening event. Really nice event, ribbon cutting ceremony, stage dedication, which we were honored at First Federal. We were honored knowing that the performance stage is going to be under the First Federal brand going forward. So that's something that was really cool to see. We hadn't seen that banner. they did that without talking to me, and I'm glad they did because they got the branding correctly and everything looked great. So that was a nice surprise. And that's not the only thing going on. They have the Round Barn Opry is going to be playing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then tomorrow they got a day full of movies, 5 movies starting at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So a lot going on there. It was great to be in the theater the other night and see it in completion. And I was on the board for the theater back a few years ago for 2 years, and it's amazing to see the progress that ended up taking place there. So
yes.
Excited for the future. Money news, don't have a lot of money news, but I did see the Dow was down last night, or yesterday when it closed, I should say. It was down 431.20 points at 33,696.85. So we'll see if it rebounds today. The futures were down this morning, though, I did see as well.
All right. Well, it's either going to go up or down.
That's what Mr. Dick Belcher used to always say. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. So. Well, First Federal, we're open today from 8:30 to 5 and tomorrow from 8:30 to noon. But if you can't get in to see us during those hours, you can always bank with us online and with our mobile app, which is free to download. Just type in First Federal Savings Bank, look for the white star with the green background, and download the app for free. And you can get rolling from there. And our ATM's also open 24/7 as well if you need some cash. And if you're heading down to Indianapolis to see the wrestlers tomorrow and you're thinking, shoot, I need some cash, well, we're part of the MoneyPass ATM network. You can go on moneypass.com, see which other ATMs are on that network, use those ATMs without getting charged a surcharge.
Okay.
And we're offering Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. Right now, when you open up a new checking account, you get a free gift, which is a smartphone thermometer.
Yes.
So it's
very nice.
It's a little thermometer. You plug in your smartphone and put it up to your head, and gives you a pretty instant reading of your temperature. So.
Yeah, it's got all the different connections for all the different phones in it, and no app required. It just needs the power from your phone.
Have you had to use it yet, Paul?
For fun, yes. For sick children, not
That's
yet.
Good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
We're excited that nobody's been sick.
That's good. We also offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Lenny Breeden for more information. His line is 574-223-1716. And if you're planning on retirement, wanting to check on your 401k, IRA, those type of things, contact Mark Blueball or Brian Bell of our Financial Services Department for more information. And we are very active on social media, so please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FF Banking's our handle on those two. You can also like our LinkedIn page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can see an archive of the First Federal radio shows from the past 4 years. And,
yes.
Not only go back and watch whatever guests we've had on, but also check out the transformation of the studio we're in right now.
Yeah, I've used that Facebook or that YouTube channel a lot here lately.
Yes, so go subscribe if you haven't already. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
Make sure I got the correct amount of nines in there this week.
I think we're doing a good job.
That makes us legal and ready to interview our special guest this morning, President of RTC Fiber Communications, Joe McCarter.
Morning.
Morning, Joe. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
So I was thinking this morning on my drive into Rochester, how many years have you been the president at
It was
RTC
13
now?
in November. Yeah.
13 years.
It was fast.
You go,
Except for some of the employees, they probably think it goes slow.
I was gonna say, time goes by when you're having fun, the old saying, so that's a good thing. It's going
We're
fast.
busy, that means it goes fast.
Yeah, exactly. You have been very busy, not only towards the end of 2022, but into the start of 2023. And one of your big projects, of course, is the fiber optic expansion in Fulton County, or the next level communication fiber build.
Yes, we were notified around April of 2022 that we were successful with the next level grants through OKRA. However, at that time you couldn't start based on how the reimbursement worked. Our funding in Fulton County was about 50%, which obviously made the project doable. A couple months after the awards, they did notify us that you could start at your own risk. And given that we had about 700 miles of fiber and 5,000 homes to pass, we decided to go ahead and start. At the time, we just thought, there might be some contractual language and things that gave us some concern, but it's not going to be anything that would keep us from, entering into the project. We didn't think it'd take 12 months to get the contracts. But the good news is we've got a lot done. We opened up Lighters Forge. The town of Lighters Forge is completed. The town of Kiwanis is completed. We are about a month away from Fulton being done. And then actually Monterey, we've got a little Pulaski County territory. Monterey will be done probably the end of April, along with the rural Lighters Forge area over into that Pulaski. So the weather has cooperated. Usually we lose a month or two due to the freeze.
Sure.
We haven't had that, so that's been great. I don't think it's really necessarily good for the sickness, but it's been good for our business. So we're making really good progress.
Now, for somebody out there that might be listening and thinking, what exactly goes into getting these towns done with fiber, and what's the advantage of getting fiber? Can you kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so we started with the towns because we had to basically extend our ring. Our ring was really just within the Rochester territory and with some what we call spokes. But with this project and building out the entire county, we needed to expand that ring. So we're doing a lot of fiber from town to town to get that ring established. That's about 95% done. For each town, we obviously offer fixed wireless service. There are other fixed wireless services as well. Our fixed wireless service is pretty decent, but in the age of streaming, multiple devices, that fixed wireless has its limits. And with fiber, you basically are unlimited. You can, there's our top package right now is a gig, and fiber has it doesn't look like there's any end to where that can go. It's just based on electronics in there. So we think it's a huge economic development boost for the county to be able to say that no matter where you live in our county, you're going to have access to high-speed fiber internet. Whether you're working from home, students at home now, it's an important utility in today's market. So.
Now, did the pandemic speed this up?
Yeah, it did. It certainly, brought everybody, for folks that have used high-speed internet for years, we can't imagine people not.
Sure.
But there were.
Yeah.
We always say there's about 60% of homes that knew they wanted it prior to the pandemic. After the pandemic, it's about 85%. Because they were having students all of a sudden need access. I know we did a lot of installations with homeowners' assistance because we couldn't go into homes necessarily. But it also really elevated the need at the state and federal level, and that's where we've seen a lot of the grant monies being put towards that goal.
Speaking with RTC Fiber Communications President Joe McCarter this morning. Now, after this fiber build's done. What's next?
Yeah, we want to get this done. We've got two major projects. We are changing our technology that we utilize, what we call the gateway at the side of the house, where the fiber drop terminates. We're changing that technology, so all of our new build has Calix is the manufacturer. Rochester Exchange is still on zone, and so once we get this build done, our service techs will focus on converting our Rochester plant to Calix. With our Calix offering in the new builds, you get a free router. That router can be managed, so if a customer's having difficulties, they can call in. We can look at what devices are connected, and maybe it's a device issue. Allows us to much better support our customers remotely. Versus having to roll a truck every time. Then we have to overbuild Rochester. That's probably in the next 5 years. But believe it or not, our fiber's been in the ground in Rochester over 20 years now.
Has it been that long?
Technologies have obviously changed.
Sure.
So we'll look at doing that, and that's going to be a major project as well.
Well, I know you're speaking of technology changes, and another thought when I was driving in this morning was I remember back when our Rochester Telephone Company was just called RTC and not Fiber Communications, and I remember when it was just a company that offered phone and internet, and then you got into the cable game.
Yep.
And now we're seeing so many people starting to cut the cord or go into over-the-top services, and that's something that you guys do often.
Yes, we encourage over-the-top. We actually have an app on our website called My Bundle TV. And if you go on to our website and go through that, it'll ask you your viewing preferences, and it'll actually tailor the right over-the-top package for you. There's no magic in over-the-top in that the programming costs are still the same.
Right.
But what over-the-top companies are able to do is they're able to just parcel out certain channels, which we cannot do. We're contractually obligated in the cable game. If we want one Disney channel, we have to buy all 20, and we have to sell all 20 to our customers and charge them. And the programming charges are just, they increase 10 to 15% every year. So if you go on and look at those options, if you have difficulties, call in. Our customer service reps are happy to walk you through that and help you select the correct over the top. And then with the right internet package, you're not going to have any issues. You just need good internet, smart TV, and we're seeing more and more folks go that way, and we, like I said, we do encourage it because we're not any happier with this cable pricing than anyone else is. So,
And not only that, but also it seems like every couple of years, maybe you guys haven't ran into this. I know my cable provider, I just got a notification the other day that they couldn't come to agreement with the MLB network.
right.
So
Yeah.
we're seeing that more and more too.
And you're also seeing programming that we're paying for and our customers are paying for starting to get parceled out to over the top.
Yeah.
Marquee, when it first came, you're going to have every Cubs game.
Sure.
Well, now you don't.
Yeah.
Apple TV gets a few.
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football was always an NBC. Now it's Amazon Prime.
Streaming.
So, that's disappointing when you're paying more and, in my opinion, getting less.
Right.
And we have customers in our territory that, don't have a smart TV and don't have Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a really good situation, but we'll help customers navigate through that.
Right. In the cable industry, I mean, I would guess out of the three main services you guys offer, telephone, internet, and the cable's been the one drastically changing the most over the last
for sure.
decade or so.
When I hired on 13 years ago, the over-the-top channels, off-air, I should say,
Right.
over-the-top, NBC, CBS, Fox, and NBC, they were free.
Yeah.
It was a national safety thing that you needed to grab those off-air and rebroadcast them if you were a cable provider. I can't tell you legally how much we pay,
Sure.
but we
It's not
pay.
free.
You could eat lunch today on what we pay per channel per subscriber. So that is just an example. The other thing I did want to mention back on our build is with those towns and areas being opened up, we need customers to go to our website. We have an interest form link, and if they can put in their interest, it doesn't obligate them to anything. It'll allow our customer service reps to give them a call, get them scheduled if they do want service, go over their options. And then what we're doing is we're sending crews those first couple of weeks. For instance, Kiwanis, we were over there for 2 weeks. We had probably 10 trucks every day, and we're able to get people installed very quickly. If you don't hit that first wave, you may be out 4 or 5 weeks before we can get back around. So
and that's on your website, you said?
That's on our website. The interest form is a link in the upper right-hand corner, and we really encourage folks to go on and express their interest.
Great, yeah. You guys are doing a great job with that build. I mean, very aggressive approach, but you're rolling right along.
Yep, it's going well. Seth Wilson's our project manager for Fulton County, Chad Morgan in Marshall County, and they're doing a really good job.
Good. Is there anything else you want to hit on or plug this morning that we haven't already covered?
Can't think of anything. We talked about local sports. I would just encourage our customers that if they have questions or concerns, call in. We're here to help. We're local. We like being local, and we certainly want to support them.
Well, in local sports, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's one more thing I wanted to talk about was it's something that's great that you guys have provided for a handful of years now is the ability to be able to watch local sports no matter where you are.
Yeah, we enjoy doing it. I think our customers appreciate it. Obviously, Steve does a really nice job. With Val coming on a couple of years ago. Val's down at the state wrestling today, so if you want to follow the results, he'll be on Twitter.
Yeah, he does a great job on Twitter.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And Steve will be at the Peru game tonight, and then Steve is actually going to go to LaPorte tomorrow, and he'll be providing some pictures and cover. We can't cover that.
I was just going to ask. I didn't.
We're not allowed to.
Yeah.
We have been asked in the past once in a while to pick up a semi-state and do it for the IHSAA network. But we weren't this year. But Steve will be up there providing some local coverage. So, yeah, we enjoy doing it. And I know there's some nights when it's just a little bit nicer to be able to stay home.
Sure.
But we do encourage fans to get out and support our local teams.
Well, I know I've heard for years, like the grandparents that go down to Florida during the winter and enjoy watching their grandkids play. I mean, it's just a great service you guys offer that a lot of other telecommunications don't offer.
Yep, thank you.
Well, Paul, you ready to try to answer this trivia question?
Ready to fail.
So like I said, the Daytona 500 is being, and Joe can take a crack at this too. The Daytona 500 is being ran this weekend. It's NASCAR's biggest race. Richard Petty, the King, as they called him, won 7 of these. Who's won the second most Daytona 500s? Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, Kelly Yarborough, or Bobby Allison?
I'm looking at both of the other gentlemen in the room to see if either of them have any type of. No? I don't know, Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon?
I have no idea.
No idea. It's Kelly Yarborough with 4.
Oh, all right.
Jeff Gordon had 3.
I can feel the
Bobby
jabbers.
Allison had 3.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. had 2. A lot of people probably wonder why I didn't put Senior in there. Senior only had 1.
Yes.
That was the race that got away from him for many, many years and finally got one towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I know.
Now you
something
know.
new every Friday morning on the first federal program.
I stumped you. So.
Yeah, he's happy with that. Just so you know, Joe.
Well, I got some words of wisdom to close out this morning's
What do we got?
program. It's from Colin Powell, American statesman.
Okay.
There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure.
All right. I really like those words of wisdom. Well, I think that's going to do it for us for today. So thank you guys so much for coming in. And we'll see you guys again next week here on the First Federal Program.
Have a good Friday.